Welcome to our Crypto News in 10, a daily podcast bringing you the latest news about crypto in under 10 minutes. Here's what's moving crypto on Monday, May 4th. Bitcoin ripped back above 80,000 to start the week. Kraken's parent, Payward, officially closed its Bitnomial acquisition, unlocking a fully regulated US crypto derivatives stack. ZKsync Lite shuts down today as the project consolidates around ERA. North Korea is pushing back on reports tying it to billions in crypto theft. And a US law firm is trying to block an Arbitrum transfer of Ether from the kelp exploit. Let's unpack it. Story 1. Bitcoin is back over 80,000. In the first hours of Monday trading, Bitcoin pushed through the 80,000 mark for the first time since late January. TradingView data shows the move began around 1:25 a.m. UTC, climbing from roughly 78,400 and topping out near 80,515 by 4:20 a.m. UTC. The rally lined up with strength in Asian equities, classic risk-on sentiment spilling into crypto. Ether caught a bid too, up about 3.5% near $2,380 during the US evening on Sunday, and a bit of fuel heading into May. US spot Bitcoin ETFs saw roughly $630 million in net inflows on Friday, their best day in 2 weeks. Why it matters? 80,000 is a big psychological marker. Traders will be watching whether ETF flows, macro sentiment, and this week's corporate headlines can keep Bitcoin anchored above it. With Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, reporting first quarter results tomorrow, Bitcoin treasuries are back in the conversation, and options pricing will hint at whether the market is positioning for a run toward the mid-80s or fading the breakout. Sources: Cointelegraph, CCN. Story 2. Kraken's parent flips the switch on US derivatives. Payward, the parent company of Kraken, has completed its acquisition of Bitnomial, giving it the full set of CFTC licenses across exchange, clearing, and futures commission merchant status. That opens the door to a regulated crypto derivatives offering in the United States. The rollout will start with spot margin on Kraken, with perpetuals and options to follow. Access is expected through Kraken, NinjaTrader, and Payward's B2B services arm. It's a major step toward competing head-on with offshore venues from US soil. Source: The Block. A quick rewind, Payward first announced the deal in mid-April for up to $550 million in cash and stock. The transaction also highlights its distribution footprint after last year's NinjaTrader acquisition. Today's close moves it from promise to pipeline. Source: Bitnomial. Story 3. ZKsync Lite. Sunset goes live. As of today, May 4th, ZKsync has halted block production on its original Lite network and frozen the chain's final state, an orderly deprecation the team telegraphed in February as it consolidates around ZKsync Era and the ZK Stack ecosystem. A read-only API will remain available for at least a year so users can verify balances and history. The team says remaining funds will be claimable via dedicated tooling. If you built on Lite back in 2020 or 2021, this is your reminder to check those old wallets. Source: The Block. Before we continue, here's a message from our sponsors.
Need elite developers fast? Elite Coders connects you with rigorously vetted senior engineers in 24 to 48 hours. Staff augmentation, dedicated teams, or full project delivery. We've got you covered. Visit elitecoders.co to get started today.
All right, let's get back to it. Story 4. Pyongyang pushes back. North Korea blasted recent reporting on state-linked crypto theft as absurd slander, blaming reptile media organs for spreading it. Even as blockchain intelligence tallies suggest DPRK-linked actors have lifted roughly $577 million through the first 4 months of 2026, and more than $6 billion since 2017. Markets won't hinge on the war of words, but policy responses might, especially as the US and allies weigh tighter wallet and mixer sanctions. Source: The Block. Story 5. A courtroom curveball for the kelp exploit funds. The law firm Gerstein Harrow says it secured a New York federal court restraining notice and 3 writs of execution, aimed at blocking the Arbitrum DAO from moving Ether frozen after April's kelp exploit. The firm argues its clients, terrorism victims with judgments against North Korea, are owed more than $877 million and have a claim on those seized DPRK-linked assets. It's a fresh legal twist colliding with an ongoing community debate about how to handle recovered funds and restore backing for RSF. Watch this one. It tests how on-chain governance, sanctions enforcement, and claimant rights interact in real time. Source: Cointelegraph. A quick reality check as we wrap. Bitcoin reclaimed 80,000 as Asia opened. Payward's Bitnomial close sets up a regulated US path for perpetuals and options. ZKsync Lite's shutdown is now official. North Korea's denial meets on-chain data, and a New York court action could decide what happens to frozen ETH from a major exploit. Keep an eye on whether Bitcoin can hold above that psychological line, how fast Kraken rolls out new products under CFTC oversight, and what Arbitrum's community and the courts ultimately decide. We'll be watching it all for you tomorrow. Thanks for listening and see you tomorrow.